Hello, let's play a bunch of New York Times games, but first we reveal our dad joke and this day in history. All right. Did you hear about the guy who invented lifesavers? They say he made a mint. All right. And this day in history, which has been quite interesting. So, January 21st, 1793, King Louis XVI is executed. On January 21st, 1793, King Louis XVI was executed by guillotine in the Place de la Révolution in Paris. I'm sure I said that perfectly. Louis took over the French throne in 1774, but was unequipped to handle the large financial problems that he acquired from his grandfather, King Louis XV. In 1789, in a final attempt to resolve his country's financial crisis, Louis assembled the States General, a national assembly that represented the three estates of the French people: the nobles, the clergy, and the commoners, who made up the vast majority of the population. The commoners of the Third Estate used their newly appointed States General power to declare themselves the National Assembly and ignited the fateful French Revolution. Louis was convicted of conspiracy with foreign powers and sentenced to death by a narrow majority in January 1793, and on January 21st, he was executed by guillotine. His wife, Marie Antoinette, followed the king to the guillotine 9 months later after being convicted of treason by a tribunal. All right. Well, I would like to thank the following people for starting a new month. Thank you to Alan Price and Lorna Atwood. And also, extra thanks to Jessica Flores, aka Math Rhapsody, for 12 months as a member. Thank you so much. All right. Well, let's start with connections. We're finding 4 groups of 4. We've got throw, crib, copy, newspaper, pirate, cave, bottle, mobile or mobile, blanket, can, lift, signal, sham, suit, cardboard box, and sheet. Cardboard box always makes me think like cat toys. Cats love sitting in cardboard boxes. Are we like building like a sleeping area for a pet, like a blanket in a cardboard box? I don't know. A bottle, like, are these like things pets will play with that aren't pet toys, but may as well be? Like a bottle, a cardboard box, a newspaper, a blanket. I don't know. I feel like blanket goes with throw and sham. They're all on the left side though. Sheet? I don't know. I'm not confident in that one. Crib makes me think of crib notes, but also, of course, a crib is a kind of bed for babies. Everyone knows what a crib is. All right. I'm just listing the definitions. I'm not saying you don't know it, but that's how I think about these. I want to think about the different definitions and see what else matches. Is there a blank notes? I'm not seeing blank notes. So crib being a crib and a bottle and a mobile would all be just baby things. Maybe a blanket. You don't really put blankets on babies. It's dangerous. So I'm not sure what the fourth would be. Okay, let's hold off on that. Copy and newspaper could be like they call it a copy. Maybe they're next to each other. Suit like playing cards. Suit like the suit you wear. Fancy, to be fancy. Um, Still haven't seen anything that I'm like, yeah, let's lock that in. Can might be something we'd play with. But then bottle when I think bottle goes with crib and mobile, but I don't know. Signal. Let's think about Signal. Signal's an app. Probably not that. Like a traffic signal, like a not sure. Signaling someone. What about pirate? What are we doing with pirate? Pirate ship? Pirate. Is it a things that? Pirate can mean just to steal. Lift can mean to steal. You know, crib is another definition of crib is a home, like your house. It's slang for your house. Could we be using that somehow? More slang for your house? I don't think so. Wow, hard to get into this one. I'm really trying. I'm willing to lock in anything that seems like a category at this point, but the only good thing I can think of is they are including blanket in with bottle, mobile, and crib. They shouldn't sleep with a blanket, but they can certainly have one when they're awake. So let's try it. No, that wasn't even one away. All right. Should have trusted my instinct on that, but I don't know what else to try here. At least I can get that out of my head. So bottle could actually go with can and cardboard box. Newspaper? Or like what else are we playing with? Lift. Lift can mean elevator. Like give me a lift. Should I try this with newspaper? Maybe I should. I at least want to know if it's one away. Okay, it was newspaper. Items to recycle. Oh. Yeah, recycle them by giving them to your cat. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should have realized that. It's funny how I got that one. All right. Signal, sheet, copy, suit, sham. If something's a sham, it can also mean it's fake. I don't see other words other for that. A sham is a kind of blanket and a throw. What's the fourth one then? A sheet? Just like things that go on your bed? Yes. Bedding. Okay. It felt like a red herring when I saw it earlier, but I guess it's not. So what is mobile/mobile doing, if not baby things? Copy, suit, cave, pirate, crib. Crib, can crib mean to steal? Because we got we got three things that mean steal. But I don't see a fourth one that would mean steal. Maybe copy? These are like almost copyright infringement words. Slash theft. I'm gonna try it. Plagiarize. Okay, yeah, I guess that's what I was going for. Cave, suit, signal, and mobile. Or mobile. It's got to be a fill in the blank, I would think. Just lack of anything else purple usually does. And they're not synonyms, that's for sure. Signal, suit. Mobile phone. Cave. Man cave, man suit, man signal, man mobile. I don't think so. All right, I'm completely lost on purple. Purple will be purple, and what are you doing today? Batman's bat things. Oh, they're all Batman things. We got the Bat Cave, the Batmobile, the Bat Signal, and the Bat Suit. Oh, okay. Well, that was not where I was going with in my head. I don't know if I would have gotten that. I mean, I'm very familiar with Batman, but still, it didn't really work for me. All right, cool. Well, I didn't have to figure out purple. It just happened. Difficulty, I think I made it harder than it needed to be. I don't think it was that hard. Let's give it a 2 out of 5. I think we have like a 75% solve rate. Let's see. We're using newspaper as betting. All right. They gave it a 2.3, one of their favorite ratings. Let's see. They haven't used it recently. So I fell for a rainbow herring. Let's see. 59% is pretty small. I was expecting 75. All right. Well, let's see what was going on here. 1 in 375 is really common. A lot of people fell for that baby red herring, rainbow herring. So of the winning games, people are getting green first, yellow first, maybe. Blue and purple are rarer. Second evens out quite a bit, but still less people getting purple. And then ever, I think a lot of people are just getting nothing. I did stare at it for quite a while. See, 12% getting nothing. 11% got only green. 9%, sorry. I don't know the other. There's no yellow green on here. Where's the yellow green? Here, 2%. So 8% got yellow green. 3% only yellow. 3% green blue. All right. Yeah. It seems like if you got purple, you are much more likely to win. All right. So yeah, crib, bottle, mobile, and blanket got 16%. 16% people fell for that rainbow herring. Putting sham in, yeah, like a fake, right? A sham. I could see trying to put that in there. Putting crib in with throw, blanket, and sheet. Okay, maybe you're building, like, what are you putting in the crib? I don't know. I guess maybe that's what they're thinking. Cave, bottle, can, cardboard box, beer containers. Interesting. I don't really think cave is a beer container, so that's probably not what they were thinking. I wonder what they were thinking. Crib, bottle, blanket, sheet, baby bedding. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting that people are putting crib in with. Okay, yeah, so this is the rainbow herring, but putting sheet in instead of mobile. All right. First, people are getting green. So the reason the rainbow herring isn't as common is because a lot of people, but 40% are just getting green first, and that gets rid of the rainbow herring. But then 13% falling for the rainbow herring, like I did. Yellow, 8%, blue, 6%, purple, 4%. So the only mistake that's more common than getting a correct category is the rainbow herring. And then we've got the rainbow herring with sheet instead of mobile, which is still the rainbow herring. And then we've got, this is a legit mistake of putting crib in instead of sham. All right. Well, how'd you do? Hello, let's do pips for Wednesday, January 21st. We'll go through the easy, medium, then hard. All right. How many fours do I have? A 4, 4, and a 5, a 4, 5. So they're going to go here and here. I mean, if we just need this to be greater than 7, starting with 5 is better than starting with 4. So we'll just do that. I think this 0, 0 must go that way. And then less than 2 has to be our 2 there. And then we get the 2, 3. And I was right. We had to use the 5 there because 4 would have only added to 7. All right. Let's do the medium. Just two donuts. It says, ooh. Do we have a domino that adds to 10 is my first question. I don't see one. 4, 6, 5, 5. All right. So the 10 gets split up. So that means this is a double. What do we have of a double? We have double 2, and that's it. So the double 2 goes here. And then we need a 2 going into something that can add to 10. So it's got to be the 2, 4 here. And now we need a 6 that goes into something that would be greater than 3. So 6, 5 seems to make a lot of sense. I don't think we're going to need a 6, 5 on the left side here. And then this is the last 2 for the 2, 3. So yeah, the 6 blank wouldn't work there because we have to be greater than 3. All right, so now over here, we do not have a domino that adds to 4. So we're going to be straddling like this. But we do need 2 ways to add to 4. So it's going to be 4 blank and 1, 3. So we're going to start with this 6 blank going down. And then we're going to go 4, 3 here. And then we're going to put the 1 going up. And then this can be blank 5. All right. Cool. I don't know what possessed me to put the 6 down there, but I don't know if there was I guess 1, 5 could have added to 6. But it just kind of felt like put the 6 there because there was a 6 sitting there. That's probably the reason I did it. All right. Well, let's move on to the hard. That was very vibed, that medium. All right. What's it say? OWL. It says owl. So I'm going to pull out my pen here just so we can visualize where we're forced to put dominoes. So this is forced. This is forced, this is forced, and this is forced. So they're all just vertical here. This is clear, but I might as well draw it. Now here we have to decide, okay, so do we have a domino that adds to 5 is my first question. Yes, we do. How many doubles do we have? We have double blank. So that could go here. So let's hold off on trying to figure out the O. Maybe we can get some stuff here. I need a domino that adds to 3. 1, 2, or blank 3. We have both, so I don't know which one goes there. This is a 5 or a 6 going into a 4. This is a blank going into an equal. We got a lot of blanks. 5 or 6. This can't go there. 5-3 looks possible. 5 blank is possible. 6-4 is technically possible. All right. Where are we? Okay, so maybe a cross reference here. I need a 5 or a 6 into this equal that a 0 can also go into. So attached to a 0, I've got 0, 1. I just realized we only have one double, so that might affect this. But give me a second. 0. I have 0, 1, 3, and 5. I think there's options. Okay, so let's actually come back up to here. So my point is that we can't do this as a double because we always need a double in this equal, and we only have a singular double. So it's not going to go like that. We're going to... Oh, shoot, undo. I meant to just erase my last thing. So we're going to go like this. And that puts the double here. And so we can actually use up the double blank right there. And this is going to be blank into something that can add to 5. So the 1 or the 3. Technically the 5 would work too. Or the 4. Okay, so I don't know what's going that way. What do we have attached to a 4? 4, 6, 4 blank, 4, 2. I mean, it feels like it's limited. So let's talk about blank first. 4 blank, I don't think works. First of all, hold on. How many blanks are we forced to use? Just this one? Okay, one of our blanks is used down here, but I don't think that matters. All right, so 4 blank I don't think works. Because now how are we adding to 5? Because it has to be 2 blank tiles where the other 2 digits add to 5. You know, we could... no, we can't. So we have 1, 5, and 3. So we're not able to do that. So we're not doing 4 blank. So what about 4, 1? Attached to a 1, I have a blank and I have a 2. This is viable. Put the 1 blank here and then put the blank 5 here. That's very viable. So I guess let's lock that in and see what else we can do. Could also do the 2 and the 3. So there's a lot of options up here. We'll see if we end up needing those. I was thinking about, because the 6, 5, I don't know where it's going to go. So maybe if it goes here, then the blank 5 would go up. Right, and so I can do something else here. I can do the 1, 2, and then I can do the blank 3. Now this is a 0 or a 1 going into a 4. So we're low on choices there. Blank 1 and then 5, 3 seems to work pretty well. Oh, I've used up the ones that add to 3. Which ones add to 3? The 1, 2 does that I used up here. I should have in the blank 3. Okay, so because I need a domino that's 3, this doesn't work. And I think that I wanted the 6, 5 down here, so maybe the 4, 1 doesn't work here. Let's look at 4, 2. Then we can do 2, 1. And this would be blank 4. And now I still have blank 3 to go here. All right. Well, I'm hoping I can fill this out. 6, 4, and 4, 1 sure does work. Okay, I got there. Had to vibe that a little bit. I'm a little bit worried that I had to vibe it. I'm a little worried that I vibed it even though there's only one solution. There may be more than one solution, though. I'm not entirely sure. So let me know if you had a different one. Cool. And, of course, how'd you do? Hello, let's do the mini crossword for Wednesday, January 21st. Let's play. The slightest amount, maybe like a tad, a bit, something like that. We can always change it. With 2 down, intentionally inflammatory posts. Does that mean 2 down comes first? Let's just skip that for now. Dirty stuff. 5 Below or 7-Eleven. Those are stores. Store? The or means it shouldn't be plural. The or means it should not be plural. Right. Something used to steer a rowboat. An oar. Sounds from a doggy daycare. Arfs. C5 across. All right. It might not be a tad. Domed home is an igloo. Okay. So it's a bit. This is igloo. Small, colorful fish that's popular in aquariums. Tetra. My mom had some tetras for a while. They live forever. All right. 2013 film in which Joaquin Phoenix's character falls in love with an AI operating system. That's her. So this is rage bait and this is filth. All right. Got it. So 5 across comes first. So with 2 down. Rage bait. I wonder if the crossword tells you what the order is or if it could be either order. I've never quite grasped that. Dirty stuff is filth. All right. Cool. Well, how'd you do? Hello, let's do strands. Today's theme is that's not very polite. So rude. Something's rude. Like, I think this is the end of our spanogram. Like, something's rude. I'm not sure what's going on there. You can shout. So these are just like impolite things. Yeah, that's what it says. You shout. So I'm just going to see if I can find the spanogram real quick here. So we know the spanogram does something along these lines. We have shout. We have, what else do we have? Burp. It's right here. Interrupt. Interrupt is just all down here. And then point. Pointing can be rude. It's kind of fun to solve the whole thing before getting confirmation that you're right. Staring is rude. That's just here. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. That's our spanogram. So might as well just finish. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 2 words here. Scoring a goal, that's pretty rude, unless you're on my team. Set. All right. Okay. Screw this. I'm going to get the words that I have, and we'll play around with it. Interrupt and point and stare. All right. There we go. So yeah, it is 2. Gate. No. Seat. Set. Tease, maybe? No. What else is rude? Well, let's think about this. We have 10 letters left, so it's either going to be a 4-6 or a 5-5. Because 4 is the minimum number of letters in the word. Gloat. Gloating is rude. And it is tease. I just didn't see how to path it. Okay. I was trying to use that T for tease, which obviously wasn't going to work. All right. Got there. How'd you do? Hello. Today's bonus game is the Daily Squaredle. I'll start with steal, and then I will explain what's going on here. So we are trying to solve 6 words that kind of cross each other. So 3 horizontal, 3 vertical words. When we guess, we have to guess 2 words at once, and it rotates through them. The first row and column, second row and column, third row and column. I guess I should say 1, 3, and 5, but whatever. Now, it gives you clues similar to Wordle, but because we're 2-dimensional, it gives us 2-dimensional clues. So the black S that was here, because it's, I guess, stare, that means that the black means that S is just not in the puzzle at all. We can ignore S from now on. The white A and the white T and L tells us that somewhere in the puzzle, those letters do exist. They're just not in the row or column that we guessed them in. That includes like this A. That means this isn't A, and that means this isn't A, in addition to the row. Now, the yellow E with the arrows pointing left-right tell us that there is an E somewhere in this row, just not where we guessed it. The T is the opposite, somewhere in the column, just not in the row. And the orange means it's both in the row and the column, just not where we guessed it. And if the letter shows up big and green, that means that we've solved that slot. All right, so there's not an E in these words. That's basically all I know. There might be an A. Actually, I wouldn't mind trying an A somewhere, like maybe the middle, because we know there's an A somewhere, and we've kind of narrowed down where it might go. So let's guess a word that's all new letters except an A in the middle. Something like Ooh, we know there's an L somewhere as well. So why don't I do it? Why don't I do something like clamp? Let's do clamp. All right. So no C, M, or P. Good to know. Those are common letters. A is not here, but it's somewhere in this row. So it's either here or it's here. I think it's more likely to be here, to be honest. There's an L somewhere. Oh, this L is pointing left. So I think the L is probably here. It's either there or there. Oh, yeah, and that L says not there. Okay. So this is guaranteed an L. There's an E in this word. I want to say, especially with an L second, I want to end with E. So let's test that, actually. Enter seems fun. Let's try that. It's not the E. Oh, interesting. So this could be the E. Or we could start with E. In fact, we have two E's pointing up. So why don't we try starting with E, like elite? There's not a T. What elide then? Oh, it doesn't end in E. Elbow? Oh my gosh, it was elbow. That's lucky. Okay. So let's take a step back. What have we learned? We found this E. There's a T in this word somewhere. This T is pointing left, so this might be a T. I still think this might be an A. That starts with a W, and there's an R. So why don't we try a WR word? Can we do... Well, we can't guess this yet. We're guessing this one. This starts with BL. No A or T. I don't know much about it other than starting with BL. The middle letter is probably a vowel. So I don't think we're doing BL and then another consonant. But it's not the A. And it's not the E. So why don't I try an I, because AI is pretty common. And then for here, this could be a T, but why don't we try something new? Could it be an R? I don't know what we're doing starting with E here. I could try an R. I don't think there's anything telling us it's not an R. So R, AI, or I could just do a brand new letter, but I'm trying to see how to end this. What do we know about L's? I'm thinking Riley here, actually. Because we could end it, oopsie. We could end in Y, potentially. I don't see a reason that these can't be Riley. We'll see. Daisy, no S. What about AU then? Maybe AU's easier. Like, maybe I won't end in Y. I want to end in NT, but there's no N. Like daunt, taunt, gaunt, the aunt trap. Also, there's no T in the word. I'm just trying to think of a word. I'm sorry. Fault? No. Hall? Why is this so hard? All right, because I gotta move on. So why don't we guess vault? I don't know. I know it can't be, but all right. I was right about the AU. There's an L somewhere. Well, we know about the L's. All right, that at least I confirmed it's a U. That probably could have done better in that guess. But do I try Riley? I mean, there's an L. Actually, this is an L. Why don't we see if I got lucky with Riley? I did. Okay. I can't think of an AUY. I'm gonna have to. Saucy, but there's no S or C. All right, we have to guess this left word, and it probably ends in T. What goes BLU? The more we can solve, the better off we are. Blunt is the only word I can think of, but it's definitely not blunt. Bluff, maybe. Whoopsie, I clicked on the P. All right, if this is bluff, what would this be? Taffy or something? That'd be a lot of F's. What's this word then? E, starting with E, ending in T. Huh. Could this be like, no, gaudy is spelled Gawdy, not Gaudy. Huh. Egret, the bird. I'm just going to guess it. Okay, that's not it. What did we learn? There's a G in this word somewhere. So maybe the G goes here. G-A-U. Could it be gaudy? I'm going to guess gruff, because that'll finish bluff if it is bluff, and it'll test if this is actually a G. It was not gruff. Okay, no Fs. But this is G-A-U something Y. Maybe it is gaudy spelled that way. So what is this? It's not taffy. I found the G. There's probably some clue staring at me that I didn't think about, but I have to guess this word. E something, G something T. EDG? Edge? No. What the heck's going on here? E. Maybe it's tabby and blurb. It is tabby. So this is blurb, I think. What did I learn? Tabby. Is this obvious? Ingot? No, that starts with I. I'm gonna have to use two guesses for this and this. That's unfortunate because these are not the same letter. E-I, E-U, E. Right, I've known there was an R in this word for a while. I don't know how I missed that. It's so easy to miss clues. I'm gonna get rid of these E's here. And the GLT in this R. I have the R penciled, right? I don't think there's any clues that are helpful right now, other than excluding letters. E what? Edgit. I might have to just like spam a filler because I cannot see this word. Egret, I tried double E, so we know it's not double E. G-I-T, G-U-T. Gut. Gut. It's not E-A. There's no A or O. Could be an I. Darn it, I can't find the word. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe a filler then, because I gotta finish this puzzle. So why don't I try something that's vowel heavy? The U and the I. Quick. I don't know. Does that help me? All right, there's an I somewhere. So this is probably the I. Wait, I. Or is this the I? All right, I'm going to get gaudy. I wish I could just think of this word. Look at all this. It's not I get, right? So we know there's no U, no O, no, not another E. There's no A. The second letter is not a repeated G. Not that I can think of a word for that. Oh, it's 8. It's 8. 8 is so hard to think of for some reason. All right, and this is blurb. Why is 8 so hard to think of? I wish I'd thought of it. All right, I got a 2. That's very poor for me, but at least I didn't lose. All right, well, let's spin the bonus wheel and see what we're going to play tomorrow. All right, Nikita Quens suggested Word 500. So tomorrow we will be playing Word 500. As always, there's a link in the description. And how'd you do? And that is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. There is a link at the end that'll take you right to Wordle if you'd like to watch that. There's also a pinned comment with all the games I played today. And if you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.